we had this idea of people sitting here and they were asking a question and then they could be heard on the microphone, but it kind of feels odd in such a small group that you come to the front. It kind of doesn't feel right when you're actually sitting here. We can try.
Well, I think it's okay for the people on your stream. It's nicer to hear the questions.
Yeah.
Oh.
Many times. Especially for so sweet. With whipped cream. Sorry.
It doesn't really matter what I say, because it's not what I say. It's almost like it's the reverse of what I say. So it's not like, it's not something that you get in language, in understanding. It's like the words being sucked back into this. It's like a suction. It's not going out and following what I say and understanding anything in time. It's the coming back to this. You didn't even leave this, but there seems to be this feeling and this idea that you left this. So the words and the ideas can go along in this, and it can feel like you're getting somewhere, that you're understanding, that you're deconstructing, that you're learning this. But it's the opposite. It's a suction back into nothing. It's the opposite that's happening. It's not that you're going and getting something. It's not that we're here learning something. It's not that we're here doing something. It's that you disappear, and then there is nothing, or you could say everything. I don't know why. It's like life, or the source, whatever the source is, decided to explode into all of this manifestation, pretend and play at being real and something happening, and then it implodes again. Why? So it's not a going out, it's a coming back. it's not even a coming back, it's just the end of that action of trying to get somewhere. And what is this? This is love. Absolute love. But not as a feeling, not as a sensation, not as a thought, not as an idea. Yet, all of those things appear in it, so all of them are love. But we look at individual things, so we say it's a feeling, it's bliss, it's a sensation, it's an experience, it's a happening. But all of them appear in it, so they're all love. But that's not the love I'm talking about. Nothing which is seen is what I'm talking about. Everything that appears is it, but no one thing. This isn't about you becoming something, becoming a better human or a nicer person or a non-angry person or a permanently happy person or a permanently good mood person or not that. So if you're a very sweet person, it's not about you then becoming a grumpy person. Too sweet is not liberated. The side effects of it might change the character, but you will never see enlightenment, you will never see it, because that's all moving. In fact, there's no such thing as enlightenment. Oh. That was just at the right point. I said, there's no such thing as enlightenment, you went,
Very good.
You're like my friend Kay. We won't do too long. Everything that's ever been seen, felt, every emotion, every feeling, every fuck up, every tantrum, every beautiful act, every kiss, every love, every falling in love, every film, every movie, every drug, every sunset, every nightmare, everything has been it. It is found in everything, which is empty and no thing. Everything. There's never been one thing out of line. There's just been the dream, within the dream, that it's out of line. There's just been the dream, which has been happening in thoughts and an energy that's been appearing, saying, there's something wrong here, I need to look for it. I need to get somewhere. And it's more a feeling. It's more the feeling than the thoughts. It's a sensation that there's something not quite right. It's a sensation that's saying there's something not quite right here. And it looks in things to find something comfortable. It looks in behaviour. So it looks to the assumption that I'm the body, my behaviour. If I behave better with others, if others behave better with me, if I become a certain person, if I act enlightened, if I act nice, if I act compassionate, if I get lots of things, if I do lots of things, then I'll get it. But you can never get it in any particular thing. It's everywhere and everything that's happening. This isn't a mindset. This isn't beliefs that are taken on. It's the collapsing of the false belief that you are separate and you are imperfect. Every hair, every movement has been perfection. Everything that's ever happened has been perfection. Not perfect in the world of things in the sense of the world of things is always moving, so the world of things is always growth and destruction in a way. The world of things is you get it, you lose it, you get it, you lose it. Like it grows, it's a beautiful flower, and then it's destroyed. You get the perfect family, and then it goes. You get the perfect lover, and then it goes. So in the world of things, it's always moving and changing from one thing to another. So it doesn't always seem perfect in the world of things. It seems chaotic and dramatic and a very alive experience. But as your essence, it's always free, because you are never one of the things, one of the separate things. You are always all things, or no thing. When this begins to be heard, but it's not heard intellectually, and it's so silly that I say heard, because it's as if we're sitting here listening. Nobody could ever listen. But it's as when this begins to be heard, then, which is an energetic thing, I don't know why, and I assume it happens in all bodies, when the crumbling begins to happen, there's an emptying out of everything the person thought it knew and was. It doesn't mean an emptying out of the body's conditioning and the characteristics of the body. It means the emptying out of the person that's claiming things and claiming to be things, which is different from the conditioning of the body and the makeup of the body. So it's not an emptying out of all conditioning of the body. The body will carry on being whatever the body is. It'll be emptying out of that one that's in the middle, believing I am the body and that it is something. And then everything is seen as it is, which is full and empty simultaneously. But there's never been a back on this. There's never been a front on this. So it's empty, just infinite, and full at the same time. This becomes really intellectual. And really the question is, but this isn't a question for you. I assume this question does its job. I don't even know really how it works. But it's who is listening? Who is hearing these words? And then it begins to be seen that this is totally not intellectual. Trust me, it's not intellectual. Somebody was just writing to me on Skype. I get lots of interesting messages going, Lisa's a stick of shit, or something like that. So this is not an intellectual thing. Luckily, I'm not identified with my intelligence, although I know it's very high. When someone says that, I can take it. They had a little chant on there that they'd made up. But the question is who is listening, and then it begins to be seen that this is not an intellectual thing, because who is understanding this? The mind's like, I remember in this case, which is a really bizarre thing, but we're just going to say it because it needs to be said. In Lisa's case, people used to ask me that, and I'd be like, what? What? Who is listening? Who understands this? And I'd be like, it just want to pop out me. I am listening. And it's not something that you can think about and understand. But as it begins to get emptied out, it becomes so empty. Who is listening? Nobody's listening. And that sounds so negative in a Christian society or in this society. But it's absolute love, because if nobody's listening, then you are everything. I say you. Who is you? Nobody. Or then you could say everything and nothing. This is where the love comes in, the intimacy. There's nobody listening, so if there's nobody listening, then you are the sounds. You are this body. You are this voice. But as soon as I say you, there's an imagination. It's this vast emptiness. Who moves a hand? Who speaks these words? Who hears these words? Who touches the air? Who feels the warmth? To be separate is terrifying. To see this is not a separate experience. It's not even you seeing it, but to know that, then it's the end of suffering, but it's not the end of this full-on experience, this full-on colour show. It's not the end of feelings and reactions and ideas. It's just not for anybody. So therefore, there's no separation between the ideas and the air, the ideas and the light, the feelings and the room and the other bodies. Nobody can get you out of this because there is nobody. But yet you've always been in everything. So you've never been lost. You've never been abandoned. You're never not loved or left. What a dream this has been. What a full-on dream. Full-on doesn't translate well. I really need to look in the dictionary or the thesaurus to find a different word for that.
Oh, French is not.
Full-on is when you drive a car very fast.
Intense.
Intense, yeah, just intense. It's an intense world or intense experience. And even though sometimes it might seem so overwhelming, there's nowhere that anyone can go but home because you always have been everything. So it's not like you're going to be the one that doesn't get it. You can't go anywhere but home. You've always been home. It's just has been this added extra daydream. And there's not really time like we imagine it, so it's not like anyone gets it for you. There's not even others like that.
I'm sorry, Lisa, I didn't hear exactly what you said about extra. There's extra something? Maybe it's already gone.
Extra daydream.
Extra daydreams.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Oh yes, Phyllis.
on the chair.
No, that was just a clarification. No questions.
On the chair.
Yeah, electric chair. Huh? Oh. Extra daydreams.
Yeah, extra daydream.
Phyllis, take the chair.
And then I'm going to ask all these questions with big eyes. Why did you come here?
Do you want me to be a guinea pig?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I can do it.
I'm just playing.
Okay.
I could just check with people whether they can hear people well in the audience. Yeah, because I have got a better computer now.
Andrea, you listen.
Didn't talk. I'm sorry if I'm blowing in your ear.
Wat versta je maar?
Last one?
I said I'm sorry if I'm blowing your ears. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
So if anyone has any questions, you can ask. I was thinking you could, because we're only going to do about half an hour more or a bit more. You can just ask from the audience, and then I can check to see if it can be heard. And if it can't, tomorrow you have to come.
No, then to take place at this 2 times and then everybody finds it normal.
Okay.
Stumble as the first one.
It feels.
If you be a question, then ask.
You're in a room with 200 people, but it feels like.
Do you have a question, then ask.
No.
How to find the problem.
Ask Lisa the question. I always think I look for the person, I never can. No, you ask the question. And never can find somebody here, but there is always this body. And because there is this body, I think there is somebody.
Because there is a body, he thinks there is somebody. But there is a body, but not a somebody.
Only a question, not an answer.
So he thinks because there is a body, that there is somebody in that body. And he asks the question, what can I do then?
Good
With
question.
what?
Okay, you can go to your seat now. I think they can hear.
So in 50 years they tell Stan was the first person against this.
No, Stan said 2 times and it will be normal. Who's next?
Well, let her answer the question.
So who knows that there's a body? Right now, who knows that there's a body, that you have a body?
I don't know. Something knows.
How?
God doesn't care.
He knows.
Goed, jongen.
How?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So right now it's known that you're a body. You're a somebody. Well, right now it's known that you have a body. Are you sure you know that?
No.
That's great.
So there's a thought that appears with a feeling that's saying that comes and says I'm a body.
Yeah.
I'm a body, and that appears in this. But who's that appearing for? So that thought says it, but who's it appearing for?
That I don't know.
That don't know is actually who you are, and in that appears a body, in that appears thoughts, but they all come and go. In that appears ideas, in that appears emotion. But that I don't know is everywhere and nowhere. It's actually not separate from that thought, those feelings, those ideas, but that I have a body isn't the end point. That appears in this I have a body. That will also disappear in this.
But the impression to have a body is because I can move an arm here, but I cannot move an arm there.
Yeah. So really,
So there is a difference.
it is that seemingly this world is experienced through bodies. Well, actually, all I can say is it's experienced through the Lisa body. I don't even know if there's any experiencing in these bodies, or what's happening in these other bodies, but it seems to be experiencing through this Lisa body. But that is a thought that appears in this. It's a thought that appears to who? Who's that thought appearing to? That thought isn't the knower, isn't the last position. That thought isn't that which is experiencing. It's a thought which is seen appearing and disappearing in this. And we can say, yes, it seems that we're registering and experiencing through this. So the arm moves. The less and less the energy's going into what you think you know as a separate person, the more and more there's just this boundless energy, which is a mystery, which cannot be defined inside, outside. Yet the character carries on, the body carries on, the thoughts carry on, but not for anybody. So who does the thought, I have a body, I experience a body, appear to? And then it's infinite or empty, endless. It's so vast. And then it seems to be that there's a shift that happens, but really there's not a shift that happens, but it seems to be a shift from being something that's happening in time to this boundlessness. And then the character in time carries on, but it's no longer life is happening to that character in time. The character in time is something that comes and goes in timelessness or in boundlessness. So who is it that moves the arm? Yes, it seems that there's even a thought that might say move the arm. Even a choice, should I, shouldn't I move an arm? So there's an appearance of choice. But who is all of that appearing to? And then this is where the absolute love is, because it's so intimate. It's everywhere, that boundlessness. You are everywhere. You were never that limited person. Whew. I just love that part. That's the love part. You were everywhere. You weren't the character experiencing this. But the character isn't meant to be dismissed, and in non-duality now, which I can see why it happens in non-duality, there's this big comeback of the person. Like, the character is not something to be dismissed. This seems to be the machine that's used to experience this. It's a divine machine, and the character is a divine play. And the character has these relationships and these dramas and these arguments and all this funky things, but it's for no one. Before, it was happening to the character. But how can it be happening to the character when the character is something that's appearing? Who is the character appearing for? Most people stop at the character and think that's the backside. I am the character and I'm experiencing life. Who's experience? It's not that something's experiencing the character. It's not. That's a little bit of separateness, but we could say that who's experiencing the character, and then it begins to just merge into everything. That, yeah, very hard to talk about, but it's love. It's the nearest word you can get to it. And it's in everything. Who moves? Who sees this? When it's you seeing this, then it's you and the rose. When it's nobody seeing this, then there's just seeing. There's experiencing. And the character is also another thing which is experienced. And the body is another thing that's experienced. The emotions, the thoughts. The human gets so... What happens in the human is it gets so immersed into the emotions and the thoughts. It's like the emotions and the thoughts are that which are experiencing life, and they become so intense. He's doing this to me. Actually, he's doing this to nobody, and you're doing it to nobody.
So I'm moving this arm. Is experienced just like listening to you.
Yeah, but
and
it's
there's
different.
No difference.
There's no difference, but it's a different experience. But there's no difference. It's not happening to somebody different. It's all happening in this. But it's a different experience, the sound of this voice to the movement of the arm, to the thought, I choose to move my arm. Like the smell is a different experience. But it's all happening to nobody. And that's where the end of separation happens, when it's seen that life was never happening to someone. It was always happening in this. And then the divide begins to stop. And then the character carries on, boom, 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 all its silliness. But it's emptiness. It's always been that emptiness. Or fullness, whichever one you want to say. But it's always different experiences. And then the thought can say, oh yes, Lisa did this, and Lisa did that, and Lisa moves her arm. But that thought is still appearing for no one. That image of Lisa is still appearing for no one. If it's for no one, it's everywhere and nowhere. It's not happening to Beppe. It's not happening to Lisa. Lisa is an appearance. And it seems that the shift happens, but also in saying that, who's the shift happening for? Like it's happening and it's not really happening. Because the shift's for no one, because there was never anyone there. It was just that force push that was like, you are the character. The character's experiencing this. And because we've most probably, I sometimes think that people that come and listen to me are either 100% brand new to non-duality, or they've listened to the subject quite a lot. They either don't get the middle, it's normally one or the other. Where was I going with that? Nope, that's gone. Sorry. There was something to that, but like everything, it's gone.
Everything is witnessed, and it's just the thoughts that sometimes are tricky.
It's not really the thoughts that are tricky. It feels like it's the thoughts, because the thoughts are that which can be seen. So the thoughts that say, she's an arsehole, why did you do that? Da, 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 da. So that's what can be seen. So that's what feels like the problem is. It's actually the energy that's pushing into that and saying that is who you are. You are the person that dislikes that person, or you are the person that's... So it's like the stickiness to the thoughts and the emotions that's the problem. It's not quite that then you go back to the witness, because there's not really a witness. But yet, then you could say everything's witnessing. It's not that there's a separate witness or a witness that's watching everything. There is everything. Like, where is the witness? But, I mean, I'm open to the word witness. Who cares about the words? But it's not really that there's... You couldn't... I mean, what is the witness? But I mean, what is nothing and everything? All my words. The meanings to them. And it becomes so intense when that energy's really claiming the thoughts and really claiming the emotions, because it's then all the focus. It's like a camera, I suppose. If you've got a camera and you were just focusing on, you know, a tiny little part of the experience, it's not that the emotion is the problem, it's just that the camera is totally focused on the emotion, because it says, I am the thoughts, I am the emotions are a problem, the thoughts are a problem. I've got to change these thoughts. It's like binoculars on them, and then the whole experience is about the emotion. I notice, because I do these talks a lot, I sometimes play around with speaking to people, and when I speak with people, often when I ask how they are, or what's happening, or what's being experienced, the two things they point out are feelings and thoughts. And that's a really difficult thing that's happening in the Western world, is so much focused on feelings and thoughts. When Paul and I and Naho were in India last year, what we noticed, I can't remember if me and you, Naho, had this conversation, or it was me and Paul, is that in their culture, they're a lot more focused on the external world. So they're not a lot more focused on survival a lot of the time, and what's happening externally, like family. They live sometimes, even in a quite well-off family, it's a lot of family and servants in a small area, in a small flat. So there's a lot more focus outside. And in a way, that's a lot less suffering than what happens in the West, where there's just this focus on thoughts and feelings. Because if the focus is outside, then there's so much being focused on. There's so much. But if it's just thoughts and feelings, like, you can't just have good feelings. Feelings move. Somebody hits you, it hurts. Somebody screams at you, it hurts. Someone pinches your lover, it hurts. Someone takes all your money, it hurts. Different emotions come up, and then thoughts come up and judgments come up. So all these different things happen. But when it's not happening for someone, then it's happening in all of this, and it's not a problem anymore. I mean, it's more pleasant to not have your money pinched and have the money flooding in, but that's beside the point. That's life. Life is a changing, full-on experience. But there's so much of this, and also with psychology, there's so much on what we've been, what's led to what, and it's obvious that conditioning's happened on the body, and so sometimes explaining conditioning to each other helps. Like, this is what happened to me when I was younger, or sometimes a Khaleesi, it helps telling them that she's a street dog or that she's a feral dog, and then it helps people understand why she's not sociable. Although I don't really know why she isn't, but So sometimes explaining that conditioning helps, but it's not. That's not the suffering. The conditioning isn't the suffering. But we often look in psychology or in the West that's the problem. That's what we've got to change. That part of it, which is okay. But there's so much focus on conditioning, what we've done, where we've been, what's led to this, what we feel now. And I notice actually when somebody's suffering more, so they're more identified, they'll talk more about their psychology in Western world. So I went to see a friend recently, and normally she had awakening a few years ago, and normally she's really bubbly. And this was the first time in a long time that I'd seen her what I would call suffering. And it instantly went back to when we were a lot younger, and she started focusing on psychology and why she does things. Whereas most of the time it's not why do I do things, it's just doing is happening. And then suddenly there was this focus on why she did this, and when she was young this did this, and this did that, and this did that. And that's so popular in our culture now. But it's focusing on a really narrow part of experiencing, which is uncomfortable. Because you can't ever get perfect feelings or perfect thoughts or perfect behaviour.
Coming back to the thought, I can move this arm.
Yeah.
So, this is tricky because I can believe it. And
It's really
if I
intimate.
believe this, then the me start living or remains.
No, not quite. It's not quite that. It's just that thought appears, I can move this arm, and it's like it's attached itself to that emptiness. It's like if you feel it now, so it goes, the thought comes up, so I can scratch my nose. So the thought comes up, so it comes up in this, I can scratch my nose, and it comes up with a feeling as if also like it's like you pop that thought out. It's like
Okay.
yeah, it's like all these bubbles. I'm gonna move my hand. I'm gonna scratch my nose. So it feels like you, but actually it's because it's so close to that essence. But it's not you. It just feels so close to it. You know what I mean?
But,
Or you could say the witness.
I
It
have
feels
no
so close
control.
to the
I
witness.
have no control. So I have no control. It looks like I thought I can move this arm,
Yeah.
but actually this just happened.
No, but-
just like you are happening.
Yeah, because how do you do that? So if we just say the witness for simplicity, so there is the witness, and then somewhere from God knows where, it feels like you pop out a thought. But how? It's an impossibility. Who does that?
Yeah.
I'm
This is
going to
just
put
seeing.
that harm up.
It's just seeing, just like I'm seeing you.
Yeah.
I see what comes up here. So
Yeah.
it comes up apparently nearer, but I actually don't know. But there is something seen. I can move this arm. There is something else seen. You speaking. There's no difference.
And the directness of everything that's appearing, like that thought that appears saying, I'm going to move my arm, is so direct. It's like, it's so intimately coming from nowhere. This sound of Lisa, you can easily put that into a story of it's coming from Lisa's body, it's coming from somewhere, but that thought of I can move my arm so directly comes from nowhere. It's so obvious. It's like, or the feeling, whoop. I mean, where is that even happening? But
And who decided to think it?
Sorry?
Who decided to
Yeah.
think it?
But it
There's
might
no control.
No,
There's
but it might
control.
come-
It just happened.
But it might come with the feeling that you decided or that somebody decided, but still that's appearing to whom? That can only be another appearance that's moving. So it can appear that somebody's choosing. It still appears here that Lisa's choosing, but it's not somebody choosing. There's an appearance of choice, but it's nobody's choice. And there will always be, with the human body, the appearance of choice. That's the way this functions. Thoughts appear and
Yeah, there is no control. No, absolutely no control on what we think and what we see, and they're actually it's exactly the same.
And then you can look at it, the control thing, a different way. This is the way Ramesh Balsaka said it. English is terrible sometimes. It's why I'm more popular outside of England. You guys don't notice. Yeah. So, what were we talking about then? Ramesh Balsaka. Yeah. So Ramesh Balsaka, this is the nice way that he used to say it, which also is absolute love, is where can you separate out your choice from everything else that's happened? One thing always leads to another, which also takes away all independence. It took me to talk to you, this to happen, somebody to put the seats here, it took the air to be, the world to spin, the sun to it took everything. And so Ramesh used to say, if you need a practice, in the evening, take a glass of whiskey, and
I love whiskey. Good man.
then he would define the whiskey, but I don't know anything about whiskies. What type of whiskey? Take a glass of whiskey and see if you can ever find the beginning of a choice. But he used to say, only if you need to find, if you need a practice. If you don't need a practice, don't bother.
Be sober.
Yeah.
So you would need a whole bottle of whiskey to find it.
You just end up obliterated by the alcohol. There's nobody there anymore. So guys, can I just ask a question? Can you hear the people in the audience? Because we totally forgot for people to come up here. I think that you can. I've turned the volume up, and just let me know if you can hear. Not me, the people asking questions. Ah, yes, they can. And she says it's great. Oh, that's good, Lady Kimp. People have some funny names on Skype. Yes, we can hear you. And you can hear the audience. Happy New Year. Marvin is not out. He's in the UK and he's drinking Coke and Tennessee whiskey. Very nice. Yeah. Is Khaleesi coming to DC? We can hear the people in the audience, no problem. Ah, yay! Hi, Lisa. The video resolution is crystal clear. There may be a way to lower the resolution which might help. Okay. Audio is good. Video is good. Great. No, Khaleesi's not coming to America. Just Lisa and maybe Melissa. And no Khaleesi. She hasn't got an American passport, just a European and Thai. I think maybe we stop soon because everyone's had a few drinks and if there's anything else anyone wants to say.
So it's the issue is that I identify with thoughts and emotions. It's not that they arise, but the moment the person that feels like the thoughts and emotions are there.
Because there's a human, this is experienced seemingly through a human body. There'll be the emotions, thoughts, feelings. That won't change. But what will change is it happens to somebody. Who is feeling? The person is always focused, my feelings, my thoughts, and there's this involvement in it all. And there's rather than there being everything or this, there's my thoughts, my feelings, my experience, my life, and it's happening to somebody in time. It's almost like there's a back on experience, there's life, and it's happening to somebody. Rather than just being this, which is not separate, it's me in relationship with this. and me in relationship to my emotions and my feelings. When that begins to drop, then it's happening for nobody, but it's absolutely love because you are everything, which you've always been. But you just played this game for some reason. Or it's not even you, it's so impersonal. This functioning started of me, 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 me. But this isn't a denial of the character or the character's feelings or the character's experience. It's not that the character stops having parties or drinking or whatever it does, or being happy or angry. It's the removal that that character was you, and that character was experiencing this. Who experiences the character? Who experiences that?
I experience the character.
And who's that I? Where is that I? This is where it begins to get really, really big. Because it was like I was always something, but who's that I? And then it's like I begins to go everywhere and nowhere. But before that I was something. So I experienced that character. Who's the I? I don't even mind saying it's I. We can use any
but it's
word.
not anything.
Yeah, it's not anything.
And it's not somewhere.
It's not anywhere. And this is where it begins to go. It's so energetic because it's like that energy's kept it like this.
But this is very scary.
Yeah, it's really, really can be scary. Yeah, but that fear comes up, I think, because something's triggered where death's happening. It's like something's dying, but nothing really dies, just an illusion. It triggers the sensation as if death's happening. So yeah, it becomes really scary. But that fear will pass, like everything. That's the nature of this. Everything moves. But yeah, it creates intense fear. Sorry. I think we'll stop in a minute. 10 minutes. Alright, then have a glass of water, please. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'd like to express something.
Yeah.
I have this. You want me to run the chair to try?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh, they say they can hear perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah, but let us have that. That's better.
That would like it. I'll do the guinea pig.
It's so close. I'm so not used to it.
It's just a commentary. I realize something that's happening now in this experience is that I always thought I was intelligent and I could understand,
Yeah.
grab something and then have a conclusion.
Yeah.
And it feels comfortable when you have a conclusion for the mental
Yeah.
energy.
And when you get it, there's a dissolving that happens. It's like a
Yeah, but I used to have those experiences, like I would call them those,
Thanks.
like whispering. I don't know. I don't find the word, but now what I see is that the more the mental energy grabs the things and gets to a conclusion, the more it's mysterious. And it's like the two things happen at the same time. So it's dropping as it's grabbing something.
Yeah.
Something else is emerging.
Yeah.
The revelation of the mystery
So
is
it gets-
emerging at the same
Yeah.
time.
And the conclusion is that often in the mind is that it was because you got something intellectually, but it's really not that. It's the dropping.
Yeah, and it's like, but there's no opposite in that. It's not a problem
No.
that I grab something,
And
and it's like the relation is not something that it's grabbed neither. It's very mysterious.
and it also can carry on being a really high functioning mind,
Yes.
and can explain this really well. But there's a shift from that being you and that being that which experiences this to the nobody experiencing this, and then that's appearing.
And I think it's a lot also the dropping of my story.
Yeah.
It's it's not important.
Yeah.
It's really not important.
Yeah. But then it comes back and seen as a really beautiful thing. The fact that
and
Helen
there already, but it's I feel it's coming.
Yeah.
There's something that's
the fact
not
that
important at all.
it's absolutely not important. But the fact that life could create the Helen story is absolutely it's
a miracle.
It's the most finest piece of art.
Yeah. And everything is not so personal.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Just wanted to express that. That for me it was like the most important thing to understand, to grab something.
Yeah.
And it's okay to grab it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really okay.
Because in that grabbing there's a disappearing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all appearing in this, whether you grab it or miss it or don't get it.
Yeah. And it's total immobility in which it happens.
I didn't understand that word.
Well, immobility, stillness.
Still,
yeah. Yeah, in French it's not moving.
Yeah.
There's something that's really not moving.
Yeah. Always.
Always.
And timeless.
That's what I have to say.
Very nice.
Thank you.
And in that I just saw another one of your rings.
Yeah.
Multi-focus.
Yeah, you're good.
But
they say on here that the sound is perfect now.
But it's nice when they sit there.
Yeah. It's nice.
Nobody has to ask a question, you have to sit there. Ready.
Okay, I want to go again. Is that okay?
Yeah. It stands happy.
What would be happening now? Because now I feel like sometimes there is this, like I feel like I'm dying sometimes. Is that beliefs will be turning away?
I don't really know what it is, but it seems to be something that comes with awakening. And it seems to be it's an energetical thing, and it seems to be triggering that feeling of death. But it says less and less, because it is a death in a way. It's a huge death of that somebody that's experiencing this, because most of the life you've believed that you are watching this in time, that you've experienced this since you were 6, that you've experienced all these things, and that seemingly has happened to the body, but that wasn't the experiencer. That seemingly is a reality in the vertical world, but it wasn't the reality, that wasn't the experiencer. That was all happening in a stillness. That was all happening to nobody. You isn't the character is a film or an appearance happening in this. And as that energy moves, it does seem to trigger those sensations of death in the body. It's really common to a lot of people that happens. And it will be really intense, those feelings, and it will feel really alien and as if you're losing the most closest intimate friend. but it's appearing in something that's so vast and beautiful and always been home. But it can be really intensely scary, the body sensations. It's as if you're being chased by a wild animal, like as if you're just at the... So you experience the sensation of actual physical death. Not all the time. Some bodies don't seem to go through that, but a lot do seem to go through that. Because it's always... There's always been this energy. There's been, I'm experiencing this, I'm experiencing this. Your best friend wasn't the one that was experiencing this. Who experienced the character? Who experienced that girl at 6 years old, that girl that loved and lost and got disappointed? That's where the freedom is. But it's a tough changeover because it is like something dies.
It feels like when you say it's like the closest friend, it feels like this.
Yeah.
But then I know I feel better and better the more this closest friend dies. So then I know it's okay.
Yeah. It's so intense in a way because it's like the character watches its own death, but then in another way, as the character's watching its own death, it's dying, so it's forgetting that. So it's kind of, it forgets that that's happening.
I think sometimes it's experienced through fear for many people. For me, it's been through sadness.
Yeah.
Like a very, very deep sorrow of everything. And it's still there.
Sometimes I wonder if there's similarities in all those kind of feelings, that loneliness, that fear. Like if they've got the common similarity, as if something's been rejected, as if something's does something.
It's really the death.
Yeah, it just comes
it's a
as
mourning.
Yeah, just comes out in fear or comes out in intense loneliness, but in the core there's a similarity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just expressed in a different way, I guess.
Yeah. We now have 50 viewers, or 49 viewers. All on New Year's Eve. I think it's maybe about our limit now. Got 3 more days. Well, I think we have. Now what to say? Oh, here we go. Stand up and say something. Oh, the perfect thing. So if you're new, I think there's so many people that have been here before, please help yourself. If you just help yourself more in the front kitchen than the back kitchen. Because the back kitchen's the cook's kitchen and it's all the prepared food. So help yourself to any of the food and drinks. You're very welcome. And we'll start tomorrow at 10.
Wow, that's early.
But we could make it later.
No.
Well, I always think we could make it later.
Yeah. 10:30.
10:30?
Ask the cook.
Okay, we'll start at 10:30 tomorrow as it's New Year's Eve day. New Year's Day. And if you need any more blankets, they're in whose room is it? I think it's your room. If you want more blankets, but I think the rooms are quite warm.
Yes.
If you do get cold, so it's in this side of the house, the back room on the right hand side. Okay, thanks guys. If you want to join on Ustream tomorrow, it will be at 10:30
CET.
+1.
CET.
Just flat CET.
GMT plus
Central
1
European
or
time.
CET.
Central European time.
Yeah.
But it's not. But you've not had a time change.
We got
It's fine. That's it. That's right.
Okay, so 10:30 Central European time or GMT +1.
Got it.
Bye.